7. Ready? So we're going to continue talking about something related to what we talked in the first class in the 7.1. Ready? And well, it's about the gerunds. So in the last class, we talked about the verbs in ing, the gerunds that we have, right? And we talk that, well, the verbs in ing, in this case, they can be used as something different as the verb, no? So in that case, sometimes when we have the verbs in ing, it's not precisely the verb, the sentence, but it's going to be the complement of the sentence. And we said that we use the verb in gerund after some cases, like for example, verbs of like and dislike, like, enjoy, hate, love, all of them. And also after expressions with prepositions like of, at, in, by, with, about, for, all kinds of prepositions that have, all kind of expressions that have these prepositions are going to be followed by a gerund, right? That in that case we use the gerund in the part of the complement. It means the gerund in this case is going to be the object, yeah, following the other verbs, right? Today we're going to do something different. We're going to talk about also about the gerunds, but from a different perspective. Ready? I would like to start with a very simple question, which is, what is your opinion about studying English? First, what's your opinion about studying English? What do you think about it?
Teacher, my opinion about studying English is that is very important for all people in general because is is a good ability uh, for the professional life and mm, uh, mm, and the relationships with other persons mm, for you can meet other persons.
Perfect. That's good. Okay. So it's very important. It's a good ability because it's going to help you to talk to people, to meet other people, to communicate with other people, right? That's it. Now, the second question is, what about doing it online? Studying English, but online. What do you think about? Because studying English, it's one thing, but studying English online, maybe you have a different opinion from that. What do you think about it?
Good. I think that the online course uh, is very different uh, to presential course, but it's not bad. I think that is um, the online course and in other topics uh, um, is the future, is the education for the future is correct.
Yeah, well, you could say is the future of education, right?
Yes.
Is the future of education. Muy bien, very good. Bueno, very good. So in this case, I ask you about your opinion about two things, right? When you say that is a very important, sorry, is very important for everyone or for all the people, what are you talking about? What is important for all the people? What do you mean? What are you referring to?
Why important the English
Ah, no,
for
no,
the
no.
people?
What? No, no. Wait. When you said, for example, it is, sorry, is very important for everyone. No. In that case, you
Yes.
said that something is important for all the people. What is important? What are you referring here? I mean, what are you talking about in this sentence? What is important for everybody?
Okay. It's important because
Not why,
helping.
but what? Not why, but what?
Okay. By by why?
No, not why, but what? What are you talking about? I mean, when you said something is very important for everyone, I just,
Okay, okay.
but what are you talking about? Money is very important for everyone?
No, 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 no. Because for the develop others' abilities.
Okay, but what I mean, okay, that's true. What I want to know is what are you talking about? I mean, when you said is very important for everyone, what do you mean? Family is very important for everyone? Or money is very important for everyone? Or no sé, party it's very important for everyone? Or what do you think? What do you mean? ¿A qué te refieres cuando dices que que es importante para todo el mundo? ¿Qué es importante para todo el mundo? ¿Qué? ¿De qué estás hablando?
Eh, the English
Exactly. You are talking about the action of studying English.
studying English.
No estamos hablando ni de la familia, ni el dinero, ni de la
No,
fiesta.
no,
We
no.
are talking specifically about the action of studying English. Maybe learning English, no? That's another thing. Studying
Yes.
and learning English, no? Is important for everyone. It's a good ability, right? Cuando dices es una buena habilidad, ¿cuál? ¿Cuál es una buena habilidad? Pues learning English or speaking in English, no? And when I
Yes.
say, for example, that is not bad, when you say is not bad, what do you mean there? ¿A qué te refieres when you say is not bad? ¿Qué no es malo? What is not bad?
The online course.
Exactly. So doing it, o sea, studying English online, right? So in this case, what we did, it was expressing my opinion about something that is an action. Normally, we express an opinion about objects. No, we said, for example, my cell phone is expensive, my cell phone is super fast, the camera of my cell phone is great, my glasses are black, my cap is black, no sé, something like that. We express opinions about the objects, but it turns out that we can also express opinions about actions, right? We can describe what we think about the actions that we do. In this case, you describe what is your opinion about studying English, and also what is your opinion about studying English online, right? So in this case, we have a subject, a verb, a verb, and then a complement. The subject is the object that we want to describe. I mean, the subject is going to be that thing that I want to describe. In this case, the subject is going to be the gerund, the verb in ing with a complement. Yes. For example, studying English. Yes. Verb in ing. Yes. Plus the complement. Yeah. Or for example, studying English online. Verb in ing plus the complement, right? That is going to be our subject in here. The verb, it's going to be a verb of opinion. Normally, as you did it here, it's the verb to be. Normally, not always, but usually it's the verb to be because the verb to be is going to help me to describe my opinion about something. Usually it's the verb to be, but we can have other verbs of opinion. For example, looks or looks like. Yes, like luce, or seems. What is the verb seems? What is the meaning of seem?
I don't know, teacher.
Parecer.
Parecer.
Parecer, exactly. Very good. Or for example, sounds. What is the meaning of sounds?
Suena. Sonar.
Exactly. So normally we use the verb to be, but we can have other different verbs. And then we have the complement. The complement is going to be the characteristic or the real opinion that I have, right? So it is very important for everyone. Ah, bueno, bien, very good. It is a good ability. Ah, bueno, very good. It is the future of education. Muy bien. So in that case, I'm going to describe the opinion, usually with a quality or with an adjective. Quality, sorry, with an adjective, right? In that case, this is the way in which we can use the gerund, but not in the complement part, but in the subject part, right? So in this case, we are going to use, it's basically the same what we did before, what we did in the last class, but this time is going to be at the beginning of the sentence, right? So in this case, we are not describing if I like or don't like the activity, but we are simply describing what is my opinion about the activity, right? As you can see here, when we have gerunds in the subject, so it says is, verb to be, or other different verbs, sound, seem, like, or other different forms of the same verb to be. Might be, could be, should be, will be, would be, other different options of the verb to be. But in the general cases, or in most of the cases, we're going to use the verb to be in that way, right? So questions, Andre, until there? Difficulties, problems there?
No, teacher.
No, all fine. Well, doing that, it's going to be very important because it's going to help me to describe different actions, no? Like, for example, the last time we were talking about feeling, feeling different things, no? For example, what is your opinion about feeling anxious or feeling anxiety? Do you have an opinion about it or?
Yes, teacher. Feeling anxious is very bad for the people in general, and it is a, how do you say enfermedad?
Sickness.
¿Cómo?
Sickness. Sickness. Sickness.
It is a sickness. It is a common sickness today.
For them. Today, yeah, today. Okay, you could say it
Yes.
is a common sickness today or nowadays.
Oh,
It means
nowadays.
like como hoy en día. Ready?
Yes.
Muy bien, very good. So in that case, with the action that we're talking about, it's feeling anxious or feeling anxiety. It's the verb to be, the verb in ing plus the complement, right? Then, as usual, we use the verb to be for describing what is my opinion about that. Okay, feeling anxiety is very bad for people, and you said it is. It is a common sickness nowadays. Why it? Of course, as we're talking about an action, is not a person, the pronoun is always going to be it, right? So, for example, any action that we transform into the subject, and if I don't want to repeat the name of the action, I just want to change it for the personal pronoun, I'm going to use it because it's not a human, it's not a person, it's not he, it's not she, so we're going to use it. Ready? So, muy bien. It is a common sickness nowadays. That's it. Ready? Now,
Yes, teacher.
most of the times we use the verb to be because it's my opinion about that. But actually, I can use any different verb that I prefer. Yeah, because sometimes I can say that these actions, yes, produce other actions or cause other actions, or I don't know, I can have any other different verb, yes, that it's like done, or that any other action that is done by this action. For example, feeling anxious can cause depression. Yeah. In that case, I'm not using the verb to be. I don't want to describe my opinion. I want to give an information about the action. And is that this action, feeling anxiety, can cause depression, right? Or for example, feeling anxious affects the nervous system, right? So usually we can have the verb to be, but it's not the only way. I can use any other action that we want. Ready? Important. If we are going to use the verb to be, or if we are going to use other verbs, is always in the third person because remember that it's an action, so it's always it. So for that reason, for example, here I include the s of the third person, or if it's verb to be, I can use it with is. I should use it with is because it's third person, right? Questions until there, my
Yes.
dear? No, all fine.
Yes.
Very good, excellent. And I can do it in any different tense. For example, here I'm doing it in present. But if I would like to do it in past, great. For example, feeling anxious didn't cause any impressions before. Yeah, so as it is in the past, I use it with the auxiliary in the past and everything is great. It's the same. I can do it in any different tense, in any different moment. I just have to include it with the correct auxiliary, right? Taking into account that it's always it, so it's going to be a third person. Okay. Muy bien. Very good. It's super simple. No problem. Ready? Now, my dear, you told me that you're an environmental engineer, right? So you are an environmental engineer. It's easy. I mean, it's not easy. It's great. It's a great job. It's actually a difficult job. So what would be your first opinion about working working with the environment? Working with the environment. What would be your first opinion about it?
My opinion about working the environment uh, isn't as all the people think. Is not being I don't know how do you say ambientalist.
Ambientalist, or like what
Yes,
do you
yes,
mean? It's like an
ambientalist.
activist, como un
Is
activista or something like that?
yes, yes. Working with the environment is very different uh, to be ambientalist and activist. Is very different.
Wait. So you said,
Daima's first opinion about this.
okay, got it, very good. So you said working with environment, it's not as everybody thinks, it is not being ambientalist. You use it, very good, use it talking about the working, and then you repeat again the sentence. No, you said working with environment. Oh my God, working with environment. Eh, what did you say after that? Working with environment isn't as good? No, isn't as simple as that? No, you said other different characteristic.
No, it's the same.
Ah,
It is in being activist.
okay. Yes. Okay, very good. It's not being an activist either. No, so working with the environment, it's you said it's something different, right? It's something.
Yes.
Yes, it's something different, right? Very good, perfect, right? So, question, and actually, it is a honest question. What are the benefits? Wait, sorry, the benefits of working with environment, or better, you are environmental engineer, right? Yes, are you
Yes.
environmental? Yes, good. So which are the benefits of being an environmental engineer? What are the benefits of being an environmental engineer?
Teacher, the principal benefit of being an environmental engineer is that you can help uh, to reduce environmental impacts, and you can understand how do you say funcionamiento,
The functioning.
the functioning of the environment, that is not easy.
Yeah, I can imagine that is not easy. My God. Okay, very good, Andre. So you said you use always the expression the way with verb to be. So you said the benefits of being an environmental engineer is that ta 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 ta. That option is correct. But you can give more emphasis putting that benefit at the beginning. No, for example, you could say, teacher, the benefit is helping to reduce the impact of the humanity. No, so I can do that
Yes.
passing that action to the beginning, right? So you could say, for example, helping, oh my God, helping to reduce the impact, yes, is one of the benefits of working as a or being a ta 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 ta. Yes, using the action at the beginning. Or for example, the other one you tell me, teacher, understanding the functioning of the environment. Okay, so I can also use that at the beginning of the sentence, saying like, okay, teacher, understanding the functioning, the functioning of the environment is one of the benefits, right? So both expressions are all right. Recommendation, personal recommendation, try to alter again between the options with gerund and the options with infinitive. Because I have noticed that you always use like, no, teacher, the benefit is that, ta, 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 and then the action in infinitive. Try to alter, like change between the expressions with gerund and the expressions with infinitive. Okay, Andre? Good so far? So very good, excellent. My dear, if I ask you, which are, let's see, which are your skills for being a good engineer. If you want to talk engineer in general, it's all right. Or if you want to specify about environmental engineering, it's also all right. My question is, which are your skills for being a good engineer? In my case, for example, my skills for being a good teacher is that I am interested in learning every day, learning new things every day. And I learn from my students, of course, right? So I am interested in learning every day. I have a talent for making people comfortable, making the people comfortable. Of course, I have a talent for learning languages, English, Italian, Spanish, French, comfortable. So I have a talent for learning languages. Also, I think that I have a talent for remembering words, which makes me easy to you remember the vocabulary. So, and that's it. And also, sorry, I am into working with adults. When I say I am into, it's like I like it, I prefer. I am into working with adults. So those three, I consider that are my skills for being a good teacher. In your case, my dear, what are your skills for being a good engineer?
Good teacher. I think that for being a good engineer, is necessary considering the old aspect uh, about social aspect, environmental aspect, and economic aspect.
Okay. So, but in your specific case, I mean, Andrea, as a person, would you say, for example, that you have a talent for understanding the environmental processes? Maybe. Or do you have a talent for learning about the chemical reactions? I don't know. Do you maybe are you interested in working with governmental programs? Maybe that would be. So in your specific case, which are your talents, your skills? Remember the expressions with prepositions, no? So I have a talent for, yeah, with the preposition for. I am interested in with the preposition in. I am into with the preposition into, right? Maybe.
Teacher, I think that I am too disciplined for to be my work to make my work.
You could use
It's
both
correct
for
para,
doing
para
my work or to do my work. Both options are right. For,
for doing my work,
uh-huh.
for doing my work.
Yeah. The difference is that when we have for, the verb is in ing, o sea, in gerund. When I use to, the verb is in infinitive, o sea, en infinitivo, en la forma base. To do o for doing. Pero es lo mismo. Eso no problem.
Yes,
Mhm.
is my principal skill for working in or for working as environmental engineer.
Okay, very good. It's so good, very good. So you have discipline. Okay, that's all right. When we talk about the skills, also we can talk about a little bit about likes and dislikes. So we can use the expressions, for example, with prepositions, ¿cierto? Las que ya vimos. I have a talent for, I am interested in, I am into, I am good at. You could say, for example, teacher, I am good at doing calculations. Say one example, doing calculations. So that's why I'm an engineer, because I am good at doing calculations. Actually, the reason because I am not an engineer is because I am not good at doing mathematical calculations. I am not good at working with math or working with numbers. So that's why I am not an engineer, right? But at the same time, you can also use expressions like, for example, like, dislike, not like, teacher, I like working with fauna and flora. And flora, right? Yes, teacher, I prefer working abroad, working outside, sorry, like not in the laboratory, but outside in the field. Also talking about the skills, no? So I like ing, I prefer ing, I am good at with the preposition at ing, I am into ing, so on, ing. Ready? Or finally, I can also use the gerund as a subject. For example, here for me, working in construction is very exciting. Maybe you said working in construction is my dream. Working in construction is exciting. Um, Helping to, no sé, like no, I know we're talking about skills. So understand or developing projects or environmental projects is rock is very easy for me. Is for me. So, Andre, my recommendation is okay. You have some expressions in your mind, which is the expressions with infinitive, easy, but try to force these expressions on gerunds into your vocabulary because they are going to be very important try to force yourself to try to use these expressions, okay? So as you can see, we have many different options when talking about skills. All of them, all of these options are using gerunds, all of them. Working in construction, developing projects, ahí está gerund. You know, working in construction, developing projects, está. Here is the gerund, the gerund, the gerund, the gerund, the gerund, the gerund. So the use of the gerunds is highly, highly important. My recommendation is to try to force yourself to use these expressions in your answers. Not always, sometimes gerunds, sometimes infinitive, you know, sometimes this option, the other times this option, but at least sometimes try to include these expressions on gerunds. Okay, Andre, all right?
Yes, teacher.
Good, very good. As you can see, we have many different options, okay? Well, now, in complement, or yes, in addition to the gerund part, in this week, we are in charge of talking about two expressions which are going to be highly important, right? First, the expression because, which is easy. You know, it's porque, that's it. And the expression so. What is the meaning of the expression so?
Como entonces,
Bueno,
cuando uno quiere
so
conectar dos frases.
is going to be a connector, exactly, but it's going to have many different applications. One is entonces. I am telling a story, so da da da. Yes, you know, like entonces to connect one thing that happened after another. That's it. Also, is going to be an exaggeration when I say, no, this is so difficult. Okay, it's also possible to use it as an exaggeration, but also, and in this case, I want you to take it into account, is similar to because it's going to give me a reason and consequence relationship between two actions, right? For example, I am good. I am good at, no, sorry, I am not good. Sorry, I am not good. I am not good at working with kids. I can't. I am not very good at working with kids, right? So, you know, entonces, it's a consequence of that. So and then the action, for example, so I can work at a school. I can work at a school. Why not? Because I am not good at working with kids. So it's the same relationship, just that in the first case, when we use because, we have the consequence, you know, and the cause. We have consequence here, and here we have the cause. So why is happening this thing? Why I can work at a school? Because I am not good at working with kids, right? If I use the expression so, it's inverted, right? I'm gonna say the cause, and that cause produces a consequence, you know, it's a consequence relationship. Then I'm going to introduce what is the consequence of that. I am not good at working with kids, so I can work at a school, right? What do you think, Andre? Good expressions? Difficult a little bit?
No, teacher, I understand.
It's super easy, right? My real question, my dear Andrea, is why are you an environmental engineer? Why? Why did you choose to study that? So what was the reason that made you study that? And then you can express it.
Teacher,
Yeah,
can you hear me?
yeah. Now I can.
I am environmental engineer because when I was at school, I was a teacher that a very good teacher that uh, explained me. Is correct.
Mhm.
Mm, different topics about science and environmental science. Um, I like it. I very like it. Mm,
I like it very much. I like it very much.
I like it very much.
Or if you want to say, maybe it could be, I really like it. Not very, but I really like it.
Yes,
Mhm. Okay, very good. Well, that's the reason why you are an environmental engineer, but also maybe it has to do something with your lives. Well, for example, let's talk about TTT. So I am an environmental engineer, and whatever, in your case, environmental engineer, because in school or when I was in school, I liked learning about, as I told you, try to include the germs, try to include the germs. I like learning about environmental stuff or biology and science, right? For example, in my case, I I was um I was very good. I was very good at my God, I don't know. I was very good at remembering information. I was very good at remembering information. So I am, or bueno, I became, me volví, or could be, I studied philology. I became a philologist, right? Why? Because I was very good at remembering information, right? Philology is the science that studies a language, no philosophy, but philology, that is different, right? So I studied philology, right? And for example, I preferred I preferred studying studying in a public university, right? So what happened? I entered to National University. Why? Because I prefer studying in a public university. So these two connectors are going to help me to give causes and consequences, explanations and reasons, right? But try to include in one of them, usually in the reason, the germ part. Try to include the expressions that we learn, because this week we learn a lot of expressions with prepositions, expressions with different verbs, expressions with germ at the beginning, right? For example, no, so learning English, learning English is really important for everyone. Really important. What you told me at the beginning, important for everyone. So,
teacher.
yes, dime, Andy.
Sí. Yes, yes.
Dime, honey.
No, profe, continúe, tranquilo.
¿Me vas a decir algo? No, dime, tranquila, no te preocupes.
No, for example, in my case, I could say I am an environmental engineer because when was at school, I was a teacher
I had.
that teaching uh,
Sí.
very well
Ujú.
environmental science, and so I was always very attentive her class,
Muy
for
bien,
example.
very good. Excellent, yes. Tengo aquí, when I was in school, I had, no I was, I had a teacher
Yes.
who was good at teaching science, ¿listo? I had. Exactly, so like that. Entonces, the idea is that you can learn to include those expressions of gerund in different situations, ¿no? Entonces puede ser que lo incluyas al comienzo, o después del verbo like, o después del verbo hate, después del verbo prefer, o después de la expresión con preposiciones. It's important also to remember those expressions. Es importante que también empieces a memorizar esas expresiones con preposiciones, porque digamos que son muy, muy, muy importantes, ¿vale? Por ejemplo, si tú dices, when I was in school, when I was in school, I had a teacher, yes, teaching, could be, but it's not actually the correct way. You have to include an expression like this one. For example, when I was in school, I had a teacher la cual, o quien, who was good at, yeah, I see, at explaining the topics about no sé qué, explaining about science. Just try to remember the expressions that we have learned so far. The verbs, the expressions, negative or affirmative, the expressions with prepositions, or also the gerunds at the beginning, right? So, for example, what was the name of the teacher? The name of the teacher in the school. What was her name?
Liliana.
Liliana. Good. So, for example, learning with teacher, learning about science or whatever, learning about science with teacher Liliana was so fun or so interesting, for example, no, let's say so interesting. So, well, that in that case was so interesting that I wanted to study environmental engineering. In that case, using the gerund from the beginning. ¿Listo, my dear? So, I know that it's a little bit uncomfortable. Es como que se siente como incómodo tratar de hacer otras oraciones que no estamos acostumbrados, pero digamos que esa es la idea, tratar de forzarnos un poquito a hacer esas oraciones para empezar a acostumbrarnos justamente a hacerlas de esa manera. ¿Listo, André? Yes.
Yes, teacher.
Questions so far, preguntas hasta el momento de las expresiones so, because.
No.
No, listo, my dear. Very good. Bueno, over here, what we're going to have, well, the last class, we talk about these actions, right? We express about these actions. Now we're going to have other different ones here, right? Activities that especially are focused like in work, in the work environment, in the work routine, right? So try to express it here, yeah? Like use these actions that we have here for expressing some of your feelings at work. For example, making jokes is really important. Wait, let's change the color. Is really important for teachers. No, so making jokes is really important for teachers. So I learned to no sé qué, right? Could be. Try to find one. In this case, we just need one example. Try to find one example here, ready, of an action that you would like to include related to something related to your job. Like, for example, no sé, waking up early, moving your body, working on a practical task, working with other people, no sé, tell me.
Teacher, for example, remember things is very difficult for me. So I have always take notes. I
Wonderful.
always have. I don't know.
No, that one is perfect. That so remembering things is very very different. Sorry, very difficult. Very
It's
difficult.
very difficult.
It's very difficult for me. Yeah. So I always have
I
to take notes.
always have.
Perfecto. We have to take notes. Very good. Excellent. Excellent. Right. So in that case, you're using one action in ing, of course, in gerund because you are giving your opinion. That remembering things is very difficult for you. And like linking another idea to that first idea. Unir otra idea como añadir otra idea, concadenar otra idea a esa primera opinión que dice. So remembering things is very difficult for me. So I always have to take notes. Bueno, my dear, questions. Basically, that's the thing. Es básicamente eso la idea de estas dos clases, de esta semana, ¿no? Como aprender a incluir esos gerunds en nuestras expresiones y esas dos expresiones corticas, esos conectores, justamente para concadenar más ideas, ya sea en gerund o ya sea de otra forma normal. Questions? All fine?
No, teacher.
Fine. Listo, perfecto, my dear. Bueno, honey, so for the moment, that's gonna be it. So see you the next week. The next week we have two classes. I don't know if you're going to be able to program both, but next week it's week number 8. So see you in the classes of the next week. Okay, my dear? Ready?
Yes.
Okay. So Andrea, have a good night. See you the next class.
Thank
That's
you,
it.
teacher.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks to you.
Good night, teacher.
Good night,
Bye.
honey. See you. Bye bye.